game, 115-94 victory for those Detroit Pistons. Hey, look who was in town. One, Mr. Killian Hayes back in town, and it wasn't a good night for him. Hey, you know what? The story of the night was the environment here in the arena. Pistons fans were lit. Can't wait for the playoffs. Tell me what you think about it, man. Swat. What up, though, people?
Trolling people back down the stairs, huh?
It is Wake Up Woodward. Hey, you know what? It's different when you see the chat family as well, and commenters saying, you know what? Continue to do the walk down the stairs videos. Shout out to Kev Knows as well, my homie Kev Knows. He does a great job. He is the in-arena host for the Pistons, and he does a lot of different things too. He does Michigan State stuff. He is a Sparty.
Yes, he is.
But you know, shout out to him. He was the one that encouraged me to start doing that, and you know, he encourages me a lot out there. A lot of those Piston people do high def stuff, but I want to continue to do that. I try and make sure I get some of the opposing players, because we sit right by the visitors' locker room.
Yeah,
we walk right down the same tunnel. And Killian Hayes, you know, had to wait to make sure we got him, and it was cool because, you know, I know he got booed. I wouldn't have booed him.
Yeah,
he got cut.
I would have.
He was drafted to an organization that was just in dysfunction. It wasn't on him, in my opinion. But I get it. If fans wanted to boo, I am not going to gatekeep that. But you know what? The environment, though, it was electric, man. It was absolutely electric, and that's what I wanted to be able to highlight as well. How much of a difference I do believe this Detroit Pistons fan base adds to what we know this Pistons team is trying to do. We know that they say they make a difference for the Lions, and last night it felt eerily similar to those Palace days. Hey, the Let's Go Pistons chants just broke out, and it was like, yo, this environment was one, and it went viral on social media, man. Hey, you got that clip?
Oh, yeah.
Let's cook up, JB.
Where's that? All right.
Listen, the environment, it was so freaking loud.
It's a madhouse.
Kudos and shout out to you, Detroit Pistons fans, because I'm telling you, the Brooklyn Nets, they looked uncomfortable most of that night. There was like a little run they had, and when the starters got back in there, it was just, night for you guys. But the Detroit Pistons fans, they were on one. You could tell they were confident. They could actually talk some trash and heckle, and it actually means something. They were just drinking their libations and slapping hands with people they didn't know. It was just one of those type of nights, Saturday night off of Woodward Avenue, man, in the middle of downtown Detroit. And that environment, it just continued to evoke. And what was I hearing from people around me? Playoffs, man. Fans are ready for it. They are ready for it. And JB Smooth, I got another video there. I don't know if I sent it yet. But let's play the Malik Beasley one, man. Real quick, just tee it up, because I want to tell the people something from that last clip with Cade. What I liked about it, man, is the fact that Cade Cunningham was ready for it, man. He had just hit the and one. Cam Johnson gave him a little elbow, and he was tired of the physicality. He went over and said something, and it got everybody fired up. But if you look at that clip, what creates the separation is every vet on the floor, they step in between Cade and Cam Johnson talking, and Jalen Duren was walking over because they were about that action, the Young Bucks. But the vets were like, you know what, guys? All right, you talk. All right, that's enough. Let's go over here. And it was interesting because we're talking about playoff atmosphere. We're talking about playoff stakes right now. We're talking about this team with the hope of hosting a playoff game. And they don't have this experience except for the fact that they got those vets, and they added another one in Schroeder who understands that as well. So shout out to them with that, man. It was just awesome to see the way that this team is putting it together with this mix of young players stepping up and playing big roles in these vets as well.
Oh, yeah. And Cam Johnson was the last person who should have been talking anything. Right? Respect. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but, he was not good that night. He was not good that night. And you mentioned that the starters for the Nets, that had to be one of the worst starting five performances that any team has put together at any point this season, because the only person that really saved them was Tyrese Martin off the bench. That was it. It was Killian was awful, Keon Johnson was awful, Zaire Williams was awful, Cam Johnson was awful. I almost called him Cam Thomas. He didn't play. Nick Claxton wasn't good. It was fantastic. And honestly, with the environment of LCA, the Nets were sunk before the game had even started, and that's something that's new for this Pistons team, at least at Little Caesars Arena.
Bro,
and
there were lines, big lines.
Yeah, by
to the outside
5 o'clock, I heard.
No, bro, the first quarter was done, and there was still lines out there.
That's crazy.
That was what was crazy to me, and it's not like lines because they were just waiting to get people through. No, because I gotta wait. I wait till the sun sets, get in a little bit later on those Saturday night games. But you see people still walking up to the door during that time. And it's awesome. With it being right there in downtown, it gives them an opportunity to go kind of do the bar thing, have some fun in downtown Detroit, and show up to the game. And by the time second quarter happened, that environment was like, yo, get the playoffs here. You know why? Because it's going to be even crazier.
They not ready, bro. When Asar Thompson crossed over Jason Tatum a few games ago, that was the first time in a long, long time that I actually felt the crowd through the broadcast. I can hear them through the screen, and it was something different, bro. We haven't had this element of Pistons basketball in a very, very long time. The Palace used to get absolutely raucous, especially when the Pistons were going on a run and they were winning games. But now that LCA and people are starting to buy back in, and I've said this before, the Pistons had to earn the trust back of the people. Anybody that's even still to this day not on board with the Pistons, I can't necessarily blame them, because you need to see that this is tangible. You need to see that this is something that's going to be around and it's not a flash in the pan. I totally get it, even with them playing like they have been playing lately. But they are earning the city's trust back, and you are starting to see that. And it's not just on the weekends. People are starting to pile in during weekday games too. I feel like they've come a long way in terms of that. We were always, middle of the pack in terms of attendance, even when we were like really shitty. Yeah. But the fact that they are like winning now, and you're seeing the fans buying in, it's a different experience, bro. It is so good to be downtown and be in LCA. I'm jealous of people that go to games now. Like, for real, bro.
It's an epic time, man. It's an epic time. I know when Flannel gets that gets that credit for the Red Wings, it also gets him into every single Pistons game too. Hey, and we're going to have some boots on the ground, definitely. And just a few more just to kind of set the mood as it relates to this environment, why you want to get down there. If anything, listen to one Malik Beasley, man. He's telling you guys it's going to be a show every game. Mm-hmm. He's telling you guys, no, we want the playoffs. He left the team. He could have gone back. Think about what he signed for in Detroit. This was I want it here deal. Like, you got to think these people are looking and are seeing what's happening, and you sign a 1-year, $6 million deal in Detroit. You could have stayed with your contending team. Think about what type of role he would be playing. I would reckon that the Bucks are firmly a top 3 team if Malik Beasley is there right now rather than here. Ooh. Firmly.
I mean, the way he playing this year, absolutely.
Think about how many threes he's hit already, and it's the high percentage as well. It's not just the volume. You know what, JB? Let's roll this too, because it was to a point where the energy was a little bit low, and Malik Beasley went and got that first tech, and it was just like, I want to get tossed. Mm-hmm. And went right over to the Nets bench and started jawing at them. Like, y'all can't F with us, dog. And it was just like, he's really trying to get tossed. Walk past people, bumping people on the way out. And then he was like, you know what? In Bass Brothers style, shout out to the Mighty Ducks, he wants to get the crowd hyped up on the way to his ejection. So let's run that real quick, man, because it was just an epic time at LCA Saturday night. Shout out to FanDuel Sports as well, and the legends, Greg Kelser and George Blahov on the call there. FanDuel Sports on the broadcast. Dog, it's just like Malik Beasley, he knew exactly what he was doing, man, and that team just turned it up a whole nother notch that I didn't even know they had. And just one more video, man. Shout out to Jeff. He's somebody who supports Woodward Pistons, supports Woodward Sports, supports Wake Up Woodward.
Shout out.
He walked over. He was like, I just heard somebody like, Kool-Aid. I was in media. I was typing up something. I'm like, And I'm looking back. I'm like, did someone really just call my name? And I look back again. He was like, what up, though? Went over there, man, and able to chop it up for a little bit. And he definitely gave his support to the Woo crew and the Woodward Sports. And got a little bit of content. And I'm going to tell him, you know what? We'll definitely make sure we play this on the show for you. The arena is starting to be more and more full. Hey, talk about it.
Hey, it's live in here, man. The whole city coming out. Hey, I think the Pistons really gonna do something, man.
They gonna do something?
They gonna do something, bro.
Talk about that boy, Cade Cunningham.
Hey, he on fire. Hey, I'm rooting for him 100%.
Let's go. Hey,
yes,
JB Bickerstaff, Coach of the Year?
For sure.
Let's rock, man.
Coach of the Year, man. Let's go.
Hey, let's go.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, that's all Piston fans in there right now. They remind me now of the going to work Pistons fans, where we could go into any conversation and into any game and no, we got an argument. These Pistons have a chance to win any game every single night because of how hard they play. When you look at all of the stats, like I have this whole dossier of stats that I've just been pouring through. This team is a lot better than even we've been giving them credit for. And the only reason why it doesn't look better right now is because of an 0-4 start. They had to figure out their chemistry. Mm-hmm. You had Jalen, Duren, and Tobias Harris, who kind of sleepwalked through the first couple months of the season. Asar Thompson, who literally couldn't play the first couple months of the season. But now all of a sudden, you got this team all together at the right time. Malik Beasley, who's like, I really just want to be here. I will do everything. I will shoot threes until my arm falls off. Don't do that. And I will make all of them at least 40%. And you got Cade Cunningham, who's taking that step in terms of all-star and wants more. He's like, I'm not satisfied. You know, awesome that this team can go out there and get a 20-point victory where he's only, taking 9 shots in a game. Like, that's the type of stuff that shows to me this team is really, really, really good. You don't want to meet them in the playoffs.
I'm glad you mentioned Malik Beasley and Cade Cunningham because I want to shout those two out as well. Malik Beasley, 5 of 8 from 3 on Saturday night, which to him right now almost seems like just another day.
That's normal.
Which is incredible because that's a sensational day shooting from behind the arc. I cannot stress that enough. 5 from 8 is unicorn level, and Malik Beasley just made it look easy. And Cade Cunningham has as well. I understand that he wasn't good against the Nuggets, and I understand that his numbers against the Nets don't really pop out. Like this weekend wasn't necessarily going to be on his all-NBA highlight tape, but even against the Nets, gave you 15, 7, and 9 on 4 of 9 from the floor and 2 of 3 from 3. He generated 35 points on 9 shots. He also, remember we talk about that this Pistons team just, they dunk the basketball at a rate higher than any other team in the NBA. He generated, Cade Cunningham, 3 dunks for Tobias Harris and 2 for Asar Thompson. So Cade Cunningham is actually the biggest reason why this team gets so many dunks because he's finding guys like Duren and Asar and Tobias, et cetera, Ron Holland for dunks.
You cooking, bro.
Hey,
that's a couple times this morning.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. It's, and that's what I'm saying. It's like we see it. We see them getting out there playing faster. It inspired a lot of the questions that I was able to take to the press conferences, our conversations here and what we're breaking down and seeing. And we said instantly, you know what? Their best offense right now is defense to offense. Yeah. Their ability to kind of create turnovers, their ability to go out there and control the backboards. And then you have high IQ decision makers. So even if you wouldn't put the ball in Duren's hands to go run the offense in the half court, well, you're looking at guys like him and Asar Thompson who can do both a full court and half court, and then Cade Cunningham. And then I don't want to leave out Marcus Sasser, who every time he's called upon is stepping up and showing he can actually be somewhat of that backup facilitator, but he's been able to play more off ball. These guys, and now you got a Dennis Schroeder to the mix. Mm-hmm. You had another vet to the mix where they already had 3 really good vets. Yeah. Now you got 4. Trajan Langdon, it doesn't matter what Troy would have done or not have done. Right now, Trajan Langdon is 4 for 4 on adding not just vets that can kind of talk and motivate our players, but they're actually going to go out there and be a part of the fray.
Right.
Every scrum, they were a part of the fray. Like, even if they were on a bench, it's like Schroeder, get back for you, get tossed or get attacked. Like, Schroeder's like in the middle of stuff.
He's known for that, though. He's a fireball. We know that.
But you know what? Who else is? That's JB Bickerstaff too.
Exactly.
There's no rest. There's no satisfaction.
That's why he fits the mold perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Like I got even more videos we'll play at another time where JB Bickerstaff is on it because we got a chronicle. Our JB Bickerstaff sideline chronicles, dog. It's another one where the refs blatantly missed something and he didn't challenge it because you have to manage how you do these things. Exactly. You kind of know the trends of the refs. but he walked all the way out to where they were, dog. It was a timeout. I'm like, he didn't look even at his players.
Wow.
It was like the players knew, all right, this ain't even a real timeout right now.
Right, coach just getting this shit off.
He went in. But you could tell he tried to be, like, he started off like, what, you know? But then it was like,
right. Oh man,
and
you
then
love
they
to
went out
see
there
it.
and the Pistons, they romped, bro, and it's like, it's fight. They're gonna fight for everything that they believe is theirs right now, and that's what we see out of this Pistons team.
They better hope and pray the Pistons don't get that 4th seed. I'm telling you right now, if LCA is becoming a dangerous place to play, and it's not just, you know, us noticing it, it's the players noticing it as well. I mean, you had Tatum come out and said he's never faced a Pistons atmosphere like this in all of his years of being in the league. So I'm telling y'all, man, don't let the Pistons F around and get that 4th seed.
Home
don't
court
let them do it.
advantage in the first round of the playoffs against the Pacers.
Don't let them do it.
Goodness gracious.
That would be. Right now, the way that it's shaping up, I think that would be the most ideal matchup because we know the Knicks aren't falling to the 5 seed, and and we've talked about it on this show. I am much more fearful of going up against a Giannis-led team than the Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam-led Pacers.
You look up your top gravity guys.
Yeah.
You look up your top ISO scorers. You look at your top points per shot guys. You know who you find in like all of these top 10 lists? Giannis and Dame.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to see them first round of a
nobody
7-game
wants
series.
that.
Absolutely not. And,
Not at all.
And before we get to the Commanders trade that they just made, there's a couple of super chats.
Oh yeah, super chats. We got to clean up.
Do you want to?
Oh yeah, I can do it for you.
Big mad at the wings.
Let me
dog.
check these out real quick for you. Shout out to everyone sending in super chats. Get those in as soon as you can. We will read them off every single time. But let me clear up a couple of these. $5 from Burn.
How
He
close
says,
are we as well to the giveaway. Let me know.
Oh yeah. I'll
get through
update everyone. $5 from Burn. It's like a scene from a movie because when I went to the last Cavs game, I don't even think it was 50% capacity. Imagine being those players. Hey, imagine them. Dante 151 $4.99 super chat. Shout out to you. Can we laugh at Jason Tatum because he was talking mad smack earlier in that Celtics Cavs game, and then what happened? The Cavs won. Go Pistons! Let's go.
Can I
Gotta watch what you say, Tatum. Gotta
Can I
watch what you
pause
say.
for a second?
What's up?
Can we chill on Jason Tatum a little bit? Like, I understand that it was funny that he got
here
crossed
goes
up by
Sam.
Asar, and it was spectacular. And I understand that he did the whole, like, F out of here when they were ahead 25-3 in the first quarter. But that man, I'm starting to be convinced that Jason Tatum has the worst PR team in the NBA.
No, that's a fact.
It is a fact because you'd think that after last season that he silenced a lot of the hate, but you can also look at it as he wasn't even the Finals MVP. And
It's Jalen Brown's team.
it's not Jalen Brown.
That is Jalen Brown's team. And
don't
you
say
cannot
that.
convince me no different.
What people need to realize though, and I will take my Jason Tatum cape off after I say this. When it's all said and done, Jason Tatum's counting stats will dwarf Larry Bird's. I'll just say that, and his per game stats will be pretty similar across the board, and in some cases even better. I'll just say that.
He still won't be better than Bird.
Of course, he's not. I'm not saying he's ever going to be better than Bird, but does he have a chance to be top 20 all time? Yes.
Will he be the greatest number 2 in all of NBA history?
The greatest Robin
Greatest
ever.
number
Honestly,
2.
though, the fact that he didn't win Finals MVP, I mean,
he's that deal. Like he's
Yeah.
the guy that I really like. Jason Tatum. He does not really talk bad about Detroit. Like obviously we know that was Jalen Brown who wanted to talk crazy, but Tatum, when he was asked just point blank period about even the environment, he was like, you know what, it's good to see because you have to think about the ages. You have to think about this kid came and sat in the Palace of Auburn Hills while Pops was coaching against some of these
that's a fact.
good Pistons teams, and he likened some of this environment back to, you know what, it's good to see them winning again. Like he had nothing bad to say from that standpoint. Yeah, but for my MVP narratives, no man, I'm definitely like, wow, what a game to drop. But you need one when you're talking about Cade up against Jokic. That's what we saw with the battle of MVP candidates. It was Cade versus Jokic, and he didn't have a good showing. And you got Tatum against Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs, and he dropped one too.
Yeah, and Shad, Shad216 says basketball gods literally hate Tatum. I'm not so sure about that, but it seems like he had an opportunity to have that moment. Like, we're the actual bad boys of the East, and by bad boys, it's not a Pistons reference, but like the top dogs. And they blew a 22-point lead right after Jason Tatum's like, F out of here. It's just, but Chuck Brewer, Tatum's not even in the sentence with Bird. Not yet, but I think he will. It'll be closer than you think when it's all said and done. And you can't convince me otherwise.
Sometimes stats don't tell the story.
I understand that, but Jason Tatum would be in the Hall of Fame if he retired right now.
Yeah, I understand that. He not lacing Bird's boots. He's not lacing his shoes, bro, at all.
But like,
I'm sorry.
Let me give you. All right, I'm on a tangent now.
Yeah, right. Tillian defended Tatum. I know.
I just know this. For a lot of these guys' legacies, it just comes at a bad time for them.
Yeah.
Because Cade Cunningham and these Detroit Pistons are arriving. I do believe that they're going to have some say-so and the back end of what these guys' full-on NBA legacies look like.
Yes. Yeah. And for the record, Bird is miles better than Tatum. I'm not saying Tatum's better than Bird. Here's what I'm saying, though. You got... Let me ask you this. Who gets more respect around the league, Jimmy Butler or Jason Tatum?
Jimmy Butler.
Who gets more respect around the league, Anthony Edwards or Jason Tatum?
Anthony Edwards.
Because Anthony Edwards and Jimmy Butler have the best PR teams I think I've ever seen.
They're also both alphas, and Tatum at times has sank away from.
But Tatum's better than both of them.
I understand.
He's better than both of them.
I'm not doubting that at all.
He's a champion.
But he's not alpha.
He literally was the best player on championship team. He was the best player in the playoffs besides for the finals. I'll give you the finals.
I mean, I'm talking about KG.
You are KG.
Kool-Aid.
What is it? The color of my skin, KG?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it the color of my skin, Brandon?
It might be. Am I right here, though? Am I right?
Listen.
He's all that, but he's not the alpha.
I'll say. For the people that have detractions against Jason Tatum, in that role, he hasn't helped himself.
Yeah.
That's what I will say. I am actually a Jason Tatum supporter. I loved.
Yeah, I don't hate him. But
I love.
You do hate him.
I hate respecting Kobe from afar.
He's not alpha though. I'm sorry. Bro.
And that's that's what I was gonna say. As much as I know, he's in that Mamba mentality. It's just something that is left to be desired, and that's what I think. I think when you look at Jalen Brown and you look at what he did in the finals, I think that's what people are looking at and saying, you know what? That's what Jason Tatum is. It seemed to be just a little different dog to the fight there. But it's just weird because Jason Tatum is still really good.
He's good.
We're splitting almost like, it's like the greatest debates when you're talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan and then Kobe or Tim Duncan and such. You're splitting hairs at that point in time. But I like Jason Tatum. I do think he is a one. I do. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
It's all good.
Jason Tatum's going to go down as the third greatest Celtic ever. He's already has a better Celtic legacy than Kevin McHale. Yes, I said it. I don't give a fuck. I know the old heads are going to destroy me.
Everyone's going to be upset about the Kevin McHale.
No,
Kevin McHale was an actual Robin.
Right.
A real Robin literally all the time in his entire career.
So he was Jason Tatum before Jason Tatum.
Right. Pretty much.
Hey, you know what?
I didn't even get to the rest of the super chat.
Bird and Jalen Brown are the alphas. I'm just saying. Oh man,
I didn't even get to the rest of the super chat.
I'm sorry. I just and Dante151 says no. Jason Tatum would not be in the Hall of Fame if he retired today.
No,
Six-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA.
He'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Like
two-way player,
championship now. Yeah, the ring kind of made sure he's in the Hall of Fame.
But like with Jason Tatum, it's like the ring meant nothing. When it was Giannis and when it was Jokic, it was like, oh, this is 100% validation. With Tatum, it was almost fodder for the haters to be like, oh, he said we did it. Oh, he tried to copy the finals picture or whatever. And it's like, he has no aura. He's corny. It's like, bro, give the man a break. Give the man a break. Every single
give himself a break.
Every single champion ever got the whole, oh, that validates their legacy. And with Tatum, it's like, he said we did it. Hey, what a cornball.
Here's an idea. Stay away from the camera, bro. You just not a camera savvy person.
Why is KG?
Just go hoop, bro.
Why is Kevin Garnett's anything is possible?
Because that's KG.
Oh,
another fucking
KG. Oh my God.
Bro, what are we talking about?
KG said anything is possible.
Look, he got to take that Kevin Durant approach to the media and all of that. Just be a hooper, bro.
Yes, dog.
Don't worry about
That's
trying to be the fashion guy.
Thank you.
Don't even worry about trying to show that you're a
That's
good
not
dad.
your lane, bro.
They're going to realize that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
man.
You're going to be judged based on how you are a dad if your son's a hooper or not.
Right.
You're an NBA player. So it's just like,
It's just not his
I agree
lane.
with you on that one. Just go out there and put out the vibes of hoop culture.
Yeah.
Because that to me is that's what KD does so well. And those guys, like KG, put out the vibe of just hoop culture.
Exactly.
He put out that like, bro, we can get a basketball and put up a crate in the alley and we can hoop right now. Like that's the types of vibes. And with Jason Tatum, sometimes he put out them vibes like he's trying to convince us that he's something and say, bro, we already think that you're one of the top players in the league.
And once
But
again,
what they don't, he's got the worst PR team in the NBA.
Yeah.
once again,
you're
KG
right.
was a lead
You're
dog,
right.
bro.
No, Anthony Davis has the worst PR team. Jason Tatum's is, although I think Jason Tatum's is actually worse. That man he got shitted SHIDDED more more than he was before for winning a championship.
Is that like
Oh my
plural,
God.
past tense, or both?
All of the above.
All of the above. At the time, now, will be. Man, I'm putting on my Tatum cape today. And Dante 151, it was your fault. Your fault.
Oh, snap.
And yes,
I love poking that Sam.
and yes, when it's all said and done, he will have a greater Celtics legacy than Paul Pierce.
If it's
yes.
something that go against the numbers, Sam just like he can't
It is.
compute
It is. Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Jason Tatum. When it's all said and done, he's right at Pierce's heels right now in terms of Celtics legacy.
Oh, goodness gracious, dog. This is hilarious. And you know what, man?
This is wild.
We got to get to the next segment.
We do.
I realized, I was like, wait, there is literally no Red Wings segment on there. And maybe for good reason, man. We'll see. We'll see where they go from here. Those Detroit Pistons, they're trending in the right direction. And the environment, it's the proper response. You want to see LCA filling up. You want to see those fans have something to really cheer about. And to know, Saturday night against the Brooklyn Nets, you know what the murmurs when you talk to fans? They knew. We winning tonight. Yeah, this is a great Saturday night. You know, it's no longer like that deep freeze.
Right.
We see like the spring is just along the way. Playoffs is going to be here. Playoffs. Have y'all seen the teams behind the Pistons?
Yeah.
This is in their hand. Like,
I mean,
literally just go out there. 6 seed should be a disappointing floor at this point.
Yeah, the Heat are done. The Bulls are done. The Magic are. The fact that the Pistons right now are like those peasant Magic, it's amazing how far they've come.
Yeah.
And now with Jalen Suggs being out, they're a team though. To the Magic's credit, they've gotten bitten bad by the injury bug this year. But yes, we do need to move on after I hijacked some things. Tell us about Lady James.
It's epic, man. I can't wait. So we're gonna have to just do the NBA show. At Lady James, we take the chart of getting a haircut.